Arsenal's 100% record in Group F has gone, but they have 10 points. And they're edging towards the knockout stages. Vitoria have a sliver of hope. It's finished in Portugal. Vitoria 1, Arsenal 1.
Well, Mustafi's goal was not enough to get the job done. Lots of you reacting already at home on social media. If we can see the tweets in the studio, we'll have a look at what one of you has to say, and then we'll come to our studio guests for an initial reaction. OK, let's talk to you guys first. We'll get the tweet in just a moment. Adrian, what do you think of our game in Portugal
Look, it was frustrating, wasn't it? It was a fairly dull second half. We did tighten up. We said at half-time, way too open. I think they had 10 shots on goal, hadn't they, to our one in the first half. Up until pretty much injury time, they'd had one effort on goal in the second half. Yet in the space of injury time, I think that they had 4 or 5 efforts on goal. So it all got very loose towards the end. I can't say it wasn't a fair result. I think a draw is probably the most that Arsenal deserved from this game. It was a nothing special performance, if I'm being brutally honest.
Agreed. I think they did a brilliant job. If I'm honest with you, they got their revenge from a few weeks ago at the Emirates. Can't really argue with the effort that they've put in. Yeah, they weren't as good in the second half, but at the same time, I think this is a game Arsenal should be wrapping up. And unfortunately, it's 4 games now where we've let it slip.
Well, let's talk about Mustafi's goal then. Some more social comments to take a look at on that. This one, of course, from Arsenal. Yes, Musty. There he is, holding the Gunners badge there. Another one to take a look at then. Thanks for this. No Arsenal player deserved a goal more than Mustafi. The man has paid his dues, and he certainly looked happy about it as well, didn't he?
It's a good header.
Yeah, it was good.
Was a good header. Great ball in from Pepe. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. That's it then from social comments, is it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, great header, and you know, took us ahead.
Well, I just think Pepe's a really good set-piece taker. We've seen that obviously in the first game against Vitoria, where he scored a couple of direct free kicks. We've seen him assist from corners and wide free kicks as well. A lot of dangerous balls flashed across the face of goal in recent times. I just think, although we're still waiting for him to ignite in open play, from set pieces, he's got his confidence now.
Yeah, dangerous.
And he's got a beautiful effort as Nicola Pepe, and that was on the money for Mustafi. But let's credit Mustafi. That was a textbook header, wasn't it?
Yeah, brilliant header. I mean, I haven't seen him perform headers like that since him coming from Valencia. So I was very happy that he got that, because, you know, it can be a little bit tough for him sometimes, like Xhaka. So it's very important that we protect, you know, our players where they deserve to be. So well done, Mustafi. I'm happy.
Yeah, well done indeed. But then, of course, it was heartbreak as Vitoria scored. They made it 1-1. We've got one tweet on this to take a look at. What an easy chance missed. And then they score a brilliant acrobatic goal to equalise. Bad defending from Arsenal with so many Arsenal shirts around. Yeah, it was disappointing in stoppage time as well. Do you think that's a fair tweet, Adrian?
Yeah, it was a bad goal to give away. Again, we haven't seen it out. I mean, it's happening too often, isn't it, in terms of Arsenal just not concentrating or not being compact enough as a team once they go in front. I don't like to always pin the blame on individuals, but Rob Holding definitely didn't defend well enough for the goal. Edwards 1v1, he doesn't get anywhere near tight enough to Marcus Edwards. He lets him shift the ball outside him and dig out across it. It was too easy. Rob Holding's looked a bit uncomfortable actually the last couple of games. Not at his best for the goal. And then Ian Selly was bang on. When the ball comes back into the box, like 4 or 5 players are just like watching the ball and no one reacts apart from the Vitoria player.
Is that not match fitness though?
With Holding?
Yeah, with Holding. I mean,
he's had games of late. I think he's had enough game time. You do lose a bit of sharpness, definitely, but I think he's had enough game time of late. He's just not in top form right now.
Yeah,
Rob
when
Holding.
I say match fitness, I don't mean literally like running around huffing and puffing in part, but I think once you've been out of the game for a while, tactical awareness maybe sometimes takes you a while.
Sometimes. And he's playing in the back 3, which is unfamiliar. You know, you have to get used to different positions. There, he was almost having to act as a fullback because it was the winger that was taking him on. I just feel that the last couple of times I've seen Rob Holding, he's not been quite as dominant or as confident as he has been in the past. So look, every player has ups and downs. Right now, he's probably not doing enough to replace David Luiz or Socrates.
Well, we did touch on it just a moment ago, but we're going to revisit it, talk about it in a bit more detail. Pepe and those fantastic set pieces. Let's take a look at what you've been saying at home, the short fuse. Lovely delivery from Nicolas Pepe on the free kick for the Mustafi goal too. Yeah, it really was a thing of beauty. Another one here, Nicolas Pepe really is a dead ball specialist. Yeah, he's just wonderful to watch, isn't he? And he's just such a class act when it comes to those set pieces, Joel.
Well, yeah.
I think we're just going to see more and more, to be honest with you. And as long as he can keep, gaining the confidence from it, he's going to do it when Arsenal really, really need it. I mean, like he did against Vitoria last time. I think there's going to be many moments in his Arsenal career where he's going to save us with a set piece. That's what makes the good teams a good team. That's what makes, players like Ronaldo, who he is, you need those moments, and it's just such an advantage having him. Brilliant left foot, brilliant.
Well, it's not the result we were seeking out today. So what did go wrong? A few things to take a look at on social media. Arsenal have their third shot of the game in the 63rd minute. Yeah, we did take a look at a few stats prior, and they weren't quite up to the mark, were they? Another one here from Michael, thank you very much for this. Arsenal have now faced 60 shots in this Europa League season, fewer only than FC Astana and a few other teams as well. So, people aren't happy, and we do have a pass map to take a look at here. This is from the first half, I believe. There's no penetration really there, Adrian, is there?
Well, we asked ourselves at half-time, why isn't Gabriel Martinelli in the game? You can see it. You can see it there. Gabriel Martinelli occupies those spaces between the width of the penalty box, showing for the ball. And if you look at it, there's not been one vertical pass into the feet. It was all quite predictable, I felt, in terms of the way we just went to the sides to then go to try and get around the back, and they coped with it very well, Vitoria. It wasn't an inspiring performance in terms of what we created from open play, and it's a work in progress. I think that right now, Arsenal are lacking the fluency that we associate with them. Under Arsene Wenger, they were such a cohesive unit at times that, even when things weren't going so well results-wise, they would always play fluent football. And at the moment, that's not happening. So I think we definitely need a little bit of an injection of confidence. Maybe a win at the weekend at Leicester, which I guess would go down as a surprise win if we do go there and take 3 points. Maybe that would be the jolt we need to restore our confidence, because at the moment, I think we're too easy to play against.
Well, let's take a look at the table then in the Europa League, shall we? Joel, what are the positives to take away from today?
I mean, the positive is that regardless of what happens, we sit on top. I think that is just about the positive. I mean, but I expect to go past this team. I just don't think we should be conceding, not winning against the worst team in the group. And they are going to be the worst team in the group. I don't really see anything changing unless a Belgium team, Liège, have another stinker. But to be honest with you, they're clearly the worst team in the group. I really believe we need to use these exercises not only to use our young players, but use it as a chance to gain the confidence, because that should have been a routine win. But sometimes when you're not going through a winning period, even games like this become a little bit difficult as well. So I guess as long as our coach Unai just keeps the boys going in training and they keep working hard, eventually the results will sort themselves out. So
yeah, I just feel that we probably didn't pick the right team. I think 3-4-3 was an experiment worth trying, but just with those two in midfield, if Torreira had been in the starting 11 alongside one of Ceballos or Willock or Guendouzi, I think that system could have worked. But what we saw was two players that want to go forward and they're not so good without the ball, and they have a great deal of legs in there, and I think that was a big problem in the first half. It was actually once Torreira came on and Guendouzi in the second half. Once Guendouzi came on for Ceballos, who pulled his hamstring, we conceded fewer chances. I don't think it was any coincidence.
Well, you mentioned that we face Leicester on Saturday at the weekend, but let's have a closer look at our upcoming fixtures after that. So there we go, Leicester, Southampton, another Europa League clash, and Norwich.
These are big games.
Yeah, they are big games. It's not going to be
games.
easy. How do we kind of overcome this tough spell, should we say, and a lacklustre performance today, Joel?
You learn from your mistakes. You have to learn from your mistakes. Like what Adrian was saying, if you're Rob Holding and you've got to be sharper where you have to be sharper, you really have to. I want to say you take your chances, but we hardly had any chances today. So, but honestly, you learn from your mistakes. You look at what's happened in the last 3 or 4 games, and you say, right, we are Arsenal Football Club. We are going to create. We are going to be able to go ahead in, if not all these games, some of these games. But it's just about being able to defend better when we have.
Yeah, what I think is the missing link at the moment is we're not imposing ourselves on the opposition enough. We're Arsenal. We said at the outset of the show, I think a lot of supporters accept this. I think we have the 3rd best squad in the Premier League.
I agree.
I'd like us to go out there and play like we've got the 3rd best squad in the division, really impose ourselves. We go to Leicester and be strong and be assertive and take the game to them and get our star men on the ball and say, right, we're here now, we're going to win this game. We're not going to just sit here and absorb your pressure and hope to hit you on the break. That's what I'd like to see at Leicester. I'd like to certainly see it against Southampton. Post-Leicester, Southampton at home, it's a very winnable game. Eintracht Frankfurt at home, strong favourites. Norwich away, you've got to win that one, I'm afraid, against the leakiest defence in the Premier League. So look, the big challenge is Leicester away.
Good football over there in Norwich, I'm just saying.
Good football, but look, if you can't score 2 or 3 at Carrow Road, I think you're in trouble.
Right, I'm going to come to you both for your one-word summary on tonight's game then. Adrian, we'll start with you.
I'm afraid my one-word summary is familiar.
Joel, what are we going to go for you?
Shaky.
Oh, I wondered what you were going to say there.
Yeah.
Shaky, I'm glad that was what you said.
Yeah.
Well, guys, always wonderful to have you in the studio. Huge thanks to Adrian Clark and Joel Bayer. Always a pleasure, guys. And don't forget, we are back on Arsenal Nation Live. This Saturday is, of course, the late kickoff against Leicester. You can join us from 4:45. We'll see you then. Bye for now.